Hello and welcome to Drakenmemoria. Yay! What is Drakenmemoria, you may ask? Well, it's Dungeons & Dragons, or more specifically, a group of people playing Dungeons & Dragons. So if this is not something you want to watch, well, we're not forcing you. I mean, you may feel obligated, but that's really all on your end. It's all in your head.
We apologize.
There's help. It's just not us. So we wish you a lot of luck and have a happy life. For everyone else who actually wants to be here, no matter the reason, so long as you stay civil in the chat, well, it's a pleasure to have you with us. Yeah, that's the thing I have to say. I feel like it's getting shorter every episode when I say. Alright, well, if you like the thunderstorm in the background, it's Ambient Mixer. If you like the battle map, it's Dungeon Alchemist. And if you like the world maps, it's Wonder Draft. That's about everything I need to say to cover all of my angles in case someone decides to sue us because we're using one of their programs to make all of this nicer. Yeah. If you like any of the programs that I mentioned or are interested in if you're watching this on Twitch or YouTube, and even on Patreon, the information for these softwares are below the window. And that's it. Anyone else want to say something?
No.
No. Yeah.
Banana.
What?
Banana.
Well, that's debatable.
Also, I am not a crook.
Also debatable.
You stole fizzy lifting drink. Sorry.
Alright. We can quiet the storm in the background. Oh man, now it's too quiet. So, what happened last episode? In case you weren't here and you're wondering what happened. Well, not a lot. The party started to rummage through the broken hull of a massive library, dying from what looks like battle wounds. Doing their best, they tried to find books on the mist they encountered in the previous chapter of the story, in order to help those still living on those islands, should they ever return. Their research, however, was not uneventful, as they quickly became harassed by ghosts roaming the library. Although not extremely dangerous on their own, their increasing number are putting an unwanted strain on our adventures.
Moral of the story, kids, reading is dangerous. Don't do it.
I'm not sure a lot of teachers would agree with that, but then again, take into consideration who just said that. So, yes, for those wondering, Remy is in fact a teacher outside of D&D. So, you have it from an authority. All right. So, well, not a lot to do since we did end at doing initiative, I believe. So, let's dive directly in. It's the same battle map as the last one, just oriented in a different direction.
Seriously, though, we need to get the gnomes on inventing proton packs.
The worst of it is that Gnome would probably find this exciting. Proton packs. Can you describe what it does and what it looks like? It's a stream of energy, and it. Oh, that's okay. I have enough. All right. Now then. No, that's not part of the people in this party. Oh, so much information on my sheet that's no longer useful. Some of it I should really commit to permanent information on this campaign. All
What
right.
are with these different colors? There's so many different colors.
It's which ones.
Yeah,
Who
it
sees.
was just to know
Ah.
initially who actually sees what. So if I remember correctly, those in green can be seen by audience and Fisher. Those in pink can be seen by Tobiyashi. Pink and green, Tobiyashi. And Remy sees all colors.
Okay.
I think.
Because he's not colorblind.
But I remember rolling pretty high on my perception check and being
We
able
did.
to see more.
Oh, okay.
Than,
Then in that case, you can see the same thing as Tobiyashi, which means
Okay.
green and pink.
okay.
Basically, the ones you can't see are the group that rolled a natural 20. On
Yeah.
their-
Yeah. Those are the red ones.
Oh,
All right. So
did we roll initiative or no?
yes, we
I think
had.
we did, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
held
we
an
did.
action just
Um,
until I seen one.
Yeah. So technically, audience, you go first, but the only ones you can see are those in green. So
Luckily, there's one directly in front of me, so that works for me.
yeah.
Oh, but it was a sneak attack. Duh.
Oh, what a coincidence.
Oh, that works out just fine. How many spells do I have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, and this was kind of supposed to be like we beat this group, we can get out, right?
Well,
that
you-
was-
Hopefully.
well,
Point
it's
of
more a
stopping.
question of you beat this group, you decided that you leave after that, because
Which I think we did.
you don't
Yeah.
need to get out now. It's really a question of you decide when is it that you're gonna have enough, because
Okay,
their
I
number
think
are
we
just gonna
decided
keep
I was gonna-
increasing.
Yeah, I think we
Yeah.
decided this was it. So okay, I'm just thinking for what I'm okay.
I think the real question is if you have any third level slots.
I
Because
do.
we're literally being surrounded.
I do have a third level slot. So I have a question for the DM regarding. So, do you remember how in the Shard, the spell Daylight was used, and it was like a massive flash bomb because they had never seen the sun before?
Yeah.
So I have Daylight as a spell. Would it work similarly in here because it also no one here is there's no sunlight here as well?
Well, maybe on living people, but you're in front of ghosts, so you're not sure.
Okay. If I'm not sure, I'm gonna go with the safer option of Spirit Guardians, which is an action, so that feels kind of bad, but especially because I'm about to take a bunch of attacks. And I have one actually in range. I might wait on that for range because they're gonna come.
Well, if they
No, because I
cast
have
it
to
and
do
then
it
they all
now.
come in,
Yeah, I
then
have
they
to
all
do it now
take
because it would
damage.
either be yeah.
And also,
Alright,
you have to
yeah.
remember that audience only sees 2 ghosts.
Yeah. That's what I'm also thinking. I'm like, would audience use it if I could only see 2? Probably not. if I knew the fight, if I had, I definitely would use it. So unless someone tells me to use it, I'm probably not going to use it this turn.
I think you're going first.
I am going first, so no one's okay. So no, I'm not going to use it then,
Okay.
because audience...
And on leaving, and Spirit Guardians does last 10 minutes. I do wonder if the audience would have the visual in his brain of, running out of the library with, divine light around him.
I think he might, but I also think only seeing two, and literally seeing one directly in front of him, I think because he doesn't actually see the threat for what it is, probably not this round.
I'm just more appealing to audience's sense of
No, I think audience might
jumping
I
out
think he might use it before they left, but I'm saying this round I think audience would not use it, unfortunately, with the circumstances performed. Is a 15 enough to hit?
No.
Okay. Is a 27 enough to hit?
Yes. No. Oh shit.
Alright, so then we're gonna get 9.
Although the way things are escalating, it might happen at one point, but not now.
9. And audience 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And audience only seeing that would use his last level 1. So that's 3d8. I rolled okay. 13. 26. 26 damage. Yeah, 26 damage.
Alright, so that would be the one here.
The one in front of me?
26 point.
I assume that isn't enough to lower it below 25 HP.
No.
Okay. Oh, I should also tell you how much of that is radiant, because it was undead.
Yes.
That would be, it was 13 and 5, 18. 18 of that was radiant.
Okay. 18. Okay.
And that is my turn.
Alright. Which means next one is Fisher. Well, Fisher, you see a lot more than audience.
Yes, I do.
You just see audience. There's a moment where you see audience, and you recognize in his face that only that. But you look around and what does he mean only that?
Actually, for audience, that might not actually that might be par for the course in Fisher's mind.
Yeah. I am going to. The only ones I can't see are the red ones,
Yep.
right? Yeah. Okay. Well.
And to be honest, one of the red one is literally, even if you could see them, he's literally outside of your field of vision. So.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think I will move. I guess just take a step back and attack the one at F10.
So you move
And-
forward one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I think I'm gonna, just to try and get it out of the way quickly, use the banishing whip
Okay.
and just hit it with that. So that's gonna be that should hit. Yeah, 25 to hit.
That's enough?
And I would like to cast Banishment on.
Alright, then the saving throw is Wisdom? Or Charisma?
The saving throw is Charisma.
Charisma. Alright, and your DC is?
15.
15?
15.
Hey, rolled a 10, so...
Hey, let's go. And then I will move the one at G8. Is that in the bookshelf?
Yeah, you sort of seeing it as it's moving through the books and leaving the bookshelves.
Uh-huh. Okay.
You can attack it, but you might damage some books. And, you know, Remy won't mind, but Zachary might. Although, taking into consideration what you just said earlier.
Yeah.
I said read dangerous.
Oh,
but
okay.
Yeah, all. Everything's resistant to radiant damage here, right?
As far as you can tell, yeah.
Yeah. Alright. Then I am going to. I can. I pulled out the web. I can drop the web and use my bonus action to get my greatsword out, and then attack the one at G8.
Okay, move forward once.
That is gonna be 21 to hit
That is enough.
for 15 slashing damage.
15 slashing damage.
And then that's my turn.
Alright. Alright, we go to Kobayashi. What is your dexterity bonus?
The dexterity bonus?
Yeah.
Like just flat, no pluses or anything. 3.
Okay, well, technically you go first. You go
Let's
half
go.
a millisecond before the ghosts actually attack. You just see them all.
Cloth of Undead turning.
Okay.
I want to see if this works. If I assume they're undead from what I've seen, or at least from what Todd's seen. So I light one off.
Okay.
It would be a 16.
And this will push away up to what challenge rating?
Character level undead. So if I'm level 8, 1 or lower,
It's going to be the
Level
same
11 is
thing
2
as a
or
level
lower.
8 priest turn undead. Hold on. I don't remember it by heart. Where is the priest? Alright, here's the priest.
Face.
Okay, so it'll destroy only one lore and turning. Where is it turning? Okay, here you go.
Just use their action to dash away.
yeah,
And
I'm pretty sure they don't have to make the saving throw. Oh no, they do.
Yeah. Like,
Creature instantly destroyed.
if they fail to save, and their above challenge rating 1, then they're not destroyed and they're just turned instead. If they succeed, then nothing happens.
And Tobiashi. So what would be your DC saving throw?
16.
16. And it's charisma or wisdom?
It is make a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom. All right. So, and I believe every undead is in range right now.
Yep.
So let's go with this. That's failed. That's a success. That's failed. That's a success. So far, this is a success. This is a success. This is a fail. This is a fail. And all right, well, you light one up and you
Let's go.
see a whole bunch of these ghosts just moving away in every direction, leaving. Fisher, you get an opportunity attack from the one in front of you as it tries to leave.
I will not take it.
You will not.
Because if I hit it, it is not turned anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do I get one as well, or was that one not
No,
turned?
the one that you hit succeeded its saving throw, so it's not leaving.
Does turn also break their stealth? So does audience now see the other ones?
Because they're moving. Well, yes and no, but it's also not gonna matter a whole lot. But those who move, yes.
Ash.
Those who don't move, no. So when I hit refresh, any greens that are left, you can still see them. If there are any pink or red, you can't see them. And after the flash of light from Tobiashi's divine fart dissipates, this is what's left on the battlefield.
Okay.
You just see all of them moving away. Tobiashi, there's a good reason for you to be proud of yourself. Hey, see? I made them go away.
Goodbye.
Dwarf off in the corner. Still only counts as one.
Wait, who was that?
We have a dwarf
What?
now? Yeah, I didn't tell you. We have a new players, and it's he was stuck in the
So we're
library
done now,
for
right, guys?
5,000 years. All right.
Well, now I want to see a different library and like how they would like organize it.
I think I don't have anything else I could do. Bonus action. Nope. Wait. No, that's gonna be the end of my turn. Unless we know we're all running after that. If not, then I'll stay.
I don't know. All right.
All right.
So,
I'm pretty sure we're all running up there.
all right. Which means it's the ghost's turn, and the ghost, well, they don't have a whole lot to do. They're going to. One of them is going to Remy. The other one is, well, he's just gonna attack audience. So the one in front of audience. So that's an interesting element to take into consideration for what's gonna happen next. All right. They attack. The one in front of Remy attacks. And starting to roll below 10 every single time again. Which means it's... oh, goodness. We have 17 and we have... total 20 to hit Remy.
I'm going to keep an emergency spell slot just in case, or spell slot points just in case. So I'll let that second one hit, but I'm going to be uncanny dodging to half the damage.
Good choice. Because remember, they have the ability to do a sneak attack once around. Although you did see them arriving, so well, it's going to be a normal attack.
I've spent a lot of spell points, like part of the research, so I need to be conservative for this in case anything comes up as well.
And that's 14 points of bludgeoning damage? No, slashing damage. I made a mistake.
But then half the 7.
No, I didn't say... I said 14? Yes, I said 14. All right,
Yep.
You're right. I don't know why. I had 17 in my mind. It is 14. I still have the result on the dice here. All right. And the one attacking audience... attacks with... Oh, and look at that. There is some sort of pincer maneuver here. So he does have the ability to... Oh, okay. Which means it's 25 and 26 to hit.
Wait, why are they pincering me?
No, it's just that there's one of them in your back that now you can see because he attacked Remy, and there's one in front of you who is actually attacking you. But the description of the sneak attack is if there is another monster within 5 feet of the target that is an ally.
So they don't. Okay, so they don't have advantage on me, but they're just attacking with.
But they can do their sneak attack.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, those both hit.
Those both hit, so it's only one sneak attack. I'm not gonna. And it's this. All right. That's.
Hopefully, snack it.
30 points of slashing damage as the one in front of you reacts to the moment where you look around to see, oh no, the one... And as you look at him with anger, he attacks you once more for a total of 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 points of slashing damage.
Plus 15, okay.
Plus 15. And that's the ghosts. Which means we go back to the top of the initiative. One little side note, as this happens, you hear some rumbling in the distance. Sort of...
Have Ramy yet?
Sorry?
I'm sure that's fine.
Should I count? Do you have Ramy yet?
We didn't. We didn't.
No, I definitely rolled. It's just I rolled the same thing I did in the first fight. It was an 8.
Yeah.
I'm not sure when the initiative for the ghosts were, so...
Well, no, actually, it was supposed to be you first. Not... you were supposed to be right after audience. So, you go now! You know, you got distracted because audience got pulverized. So now you have that moment of revenge. Go ahead.
I
Sorry.
guess could you briefly update the map since I...
Oh. Yeah. There you go. You got one in front of you and one next to audience. I really just skipped your turn? Wow. Alright. Sorry.
Right, I guess in which case, given this situation, Raimi is actually going to bonus action disengage. Going to move over to a
Well, you have choice between 9 or 10.
yeah, it's like I was trying to make sure I was getting the right number to K9.
Alright. So I imagine Tobiashi lets Remy go, lets Remy pass.
I absorb him. No, I'm shitting. Yeah,
Gods.
he
Although-
actually passes through me. We won't picture how that goes, but it happens.
Like you're gooey enough, like Osmosis Jones, where you just yourself up in the middle, and he just like jumps through you.
Just wails of pain. I'm like, ah. Sorry, no, keep going.
And once Remy is, has just passed through, there's, oh man, he slimed me.
Gross. All right, that'll be a 21 to hit.
That is enough.
Short sword. Level 11, I'll have to get another dice pack out. Or... $29 piercing and for thunder.
How much thunder?
4.
Alright. So he the ghost attack who just sneak attack audience, you sneak attack the ghost.
Then Raimi is going to move to M10 and end his turn there. Hopefully he stabbed it hard enough to where audience could take it out with his mace, but otherwise he might goad it into a sentinel attack audience. Who knows?
Who knows? Technically,
Aliens.
it has been said that the nose knows. Alright. Now we go back to the top of the initiative, you hear rumbling, and then we go down to audience.
Alright, I was gonna take some swings. With a 24
That's enough.
to hit.
And it disappears.
Fair enough. But does it disappear in light or in...
Oh yes, it disappears in light, most likely, unless I roll really poorly on my, really good on my dice. What's the DC for?
15.
15? It disappears. You don't even have to roll damage. It's below 25.
Fair enough.
So
Like Raimi sets them up so that audience can knock him down.
Was there another one still alive, or did we... No, wait.
yeah, there's another one,
Yeah.
and now you can see
Yeah.
it because combat has
Yeah,
started.
so I'm gonna go hit that one.
And it's right next to you. Oh.
a 24, so I will hit it.
Yes, it is.
I'll throw a level 2 in on it. I don't think it's taken any damage, really. Or that much damage. Okay, 6. Plus 33. So 39 damage in total, 33 radiant.
All right. Which means now we put Remy in the right order. Remy, it's your turn again. You've just been inspired by audience's action. We have to justify it in some way.
All right. In which case,
Do you want to go slime yourself again with Tobiyashi?
that just seemed like appropriate library behavior. Then they can get as slimy as they want. In which case, I think as audience is doing the downward strike of his next mace, that's when Raimi, drops his short sword briefly, picks up his bow and fires true at the ghost.
Yeah, because remember, since audience is in the firing arc, if you roll a natural 1, you're gonna hit audience. Just reminding you.
Well, luckily with the steady aim mechanic, that's a 1 in 400 chance. Not that it can't happen. Fuck that when that happens. But
hey, last game I rolled 318 in a row. So
actually, with a different rogue character, the weekend before last, I did roll a double nat 1, and it was upsetting. So yeah, that'll be a 23 to hit.
that's enough.
Bow. Take the D8. Come on. Yeah, there we go. Okay. It's 8. 11. 15. 18. 20. 24. Okay, this time it's 29 force.
29 force, alright.
He can't do anything else or move, so that's it for.
Audience, just as you strike, you hear that. Alright, the ghost takes it like a man. Or at least you think it was a man when it was alive. So it can say that.
It does seem to have a large chest, but this...
Alright. Which means we go down to Fisher.
Alright, well, it's just the one left, right? So,
That you can see.
yeah. I will start with a green flame blade. That is a nat 20
That hits.
for 19 slashing damage and 10 fire damage. And then I will attack it again This time using Great Weapon Master. And roll another nat 20.
Nice. Right now it's just floating.
Oh.
Right now it's just floating. So, it is unconscious. So
Although I did just roll 7 on 4d6. So. But plus 17 is 24 slashing damage.
all right.
I mean, it's all still critical, so it works.
Yeah.
All right, Tobiyashi. The ghost is just floating there. You know that any damage that is not fire, acid, radiant, or critical hit mean that it will regain some hit points. You, the viewers, decide.
But then all your hits are critical because it's unconscious.
Yeah.
So what, do I just need to throw an oil flask at it and light it on fire?
You just need to
No,
hit
you
it
just
enough.
need to punch it.
You just need to hit enough so it reaches minus 63.
You're allowed
How much is it at right now?
to undeath.
You don't know. You don't know exactly how Fisher did, but technically, Todd knows that it's supposed to be at minus 24.
Why not? Let's hit it a couple times. Unless I could. I used most of that.
If you can do 20 standard damage, it's going to be enough to finish.
Every attack you hit is a crit.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay.
You need to
And
let's hit
do
him.
you need to do 39 damage to completely finish it. So
We are going to hit it. Oh my gosh.
Return.
it's
So,
unconscious, so you have advantage to hit it.
So first hit. I should be rolling my dice. I will finish this first one on here. 19 to hit.
That's it's enough. It's not a lot more than enough, but it's enough.
And then we'll hit it again. For both of them. 24 to hit.
It's enough.
All right, and then I will use Fury of Blows and hit it 2 more times.
You roll the damage of your normal attack first,
Oh yeah, the first one.
because you might just do enough damage to kill it outright.
First. Okay. There it is. It's 11, 22. Right, that's doubled because it's a crit. It says 22 for the first one.
Okay. It's
The
not
second
dead,
hit.
but you have a chance of finishing it. Go, go, go.
16 points of damage for the next one.
Oh, you're short. 1.
Gosh, all right, I'm hitting it again. Fuck it. Use my key point.
You don't need the key point. You have one more attack.
Oh yeah, my bonus hit. Duh. Forgot that was a thing. All right, I'll hit him again.
You see the ghostly image of this thing starting to lose cohesion. You know it's about to die. And he missed.
19 to hit.
Yes, it's enough to hit.
Okay. And then
You only need to do 1
arm
point of
strike.
damage. It's okay. It's more than your minimum.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Okay,
Yay!
it's
It's
5,
dead.
10.
Mark.
Yay!
You didn't manage to do more than 1 hit point of damage. You know, it's what it is. It's a monk. It's. I feel like I've just heard 5,000 people cry boo to my comment. All right, you see the ghost lose cohesion and disappear. Oh damn! now I'm gonna have to rotate the map again in case you have another encounter. I mean, I'm gonna have to take a new map and
Like, watch it. Not only will he flip it, but he'll also make the map slightly brighter.
Okay, then we run, right? We're out of here?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It's really up to you.
Okay, let's run. Bye, guys.
I mean, to be clear, we grabbed what we needed from this section before they arrived, right?
Yeah.
Well, you grab books. You don't know if it's what you need. You're gonna know if it's what you need.
You know what?
Yeah.
The reason why we were in that section to begin with.
Yeah.
Yes, we did. We've already done our roll for this section and got the books.
Just wanted to be sure that happened, because I don't want this, like, any of that. You never said that you...
Yes, I think we got the books for this section.
Alright, so you look around, you don't see any ghosts. You look up and you see a whole lot of small dots of light swirling around above you. You have that moment of, oh yeah, most of them aren't dead, they're just scared. That's gonna be fun when they stop being scared.
Well, they can be not scared all they want because we're leaving.
So,
Let's go.
I'm gonna... So, you start moving through the hall of this library and trying to figure out where you are and where you need to go. You hear this rumbling sound in the distance, always. It feels like it's slowly getting closer and closer. Just this... as if something just fell apart. You're trying to go directly to the outer ring, or are you trying to go to another section? How are you moving right now? You're leaving this section, but are you running away from the library? Are you...
Yeah. I think we're leaving the library.
I'd like to leave.
The decision before we start getting overrun.
Very disinterested in fighting 15 ghosts the next time.
Wait, it's 13. Sorry.
How did you know?
Well, little did you know, I installed a camera in your room.
Oh, that's the new thing. All right. Well, it was either that or you figured out the mathematical equation of how I figure out how many ghosts are going to appear every turn. So, so yeah.
Oh no, I burped.
Okay. That's a burp? Damn. One of my past characters would have been ashamed by that. Yeah. Don't grant wishes to orcs. He wished. So, the true story. I know because he was one of my character. He was granted a wish. So he wished for a breath weapon. A breath weapon that would stink as much as an elder mummy. Throw enough, the same amount of air as a tornado. And make a sound as deafening as, I believe it was a chimera? Or wyvern, I'm not sure. And how would that manifest? As a loud burp.
Nice.
I was 17. And the second wish he asked for was a burping canary. So
Taking a peek here.
All right, so. And the third wish, gods decided that he should never be granted the wish again. So he never got his third wish. When you're dungeon master, you look at your dungeon master and you say, for my third wish, I wish that the sound of every cricket around the world becomes burping sound. And he says, no. The gods descend and say that you are not allowed to have wishes anymore. So, you start running through the halls of this library as you see this burning, these destroyed and burning halls, and you hear that rumbling noise, things falling apart in the distance, growing closer and closer. And just as you're about to leave this section of the library and go to the minor ring, you turn around one corner and suddenly the wall in front of you just bursts open and falls apart. For a moment, you expect a large creature to just come barreling through this wall. And you see your friend just tumbling in front of you, shield drawn, guns drawn toward where that wall fell, does a simple tumble and looks very intensely in front of him, and then just takes a moment, turns his head around, and hi. So, how has your book gathering? And he suddenly becomes very relaxed. He puts down his shield, his guns go down, he just looks at you as if it's the most natural thing in the world. So, how has your book searching been going? I hope you have everything you need. There's been a little problem. It's a little bit bigger than I anticipated, so I am missing a few key ingredients to take care of the problem permanently. So I'd suggest that you hurry up if you're not done, and if you're done, it's time to hurry up again because you seem to be drawing a whole lot of attention. And he looks behind you, and you have just that reflex of looking behind, and you see this whole swarm of little lights coming toward you.
Yeah, we were leaving.
Yeah, we're done. We're on our way out.
Yeah, if you want to come with us, we're headed out.
Yes, that's a very good idea. I'm just gonna make sure that it doesn't follow you. And then you see this massive beast jump through that remaining wall onto the night, pushing him away. You just hear him just go. You see the beast looking in toward the night. You see the beast looking toward all of you. It's this gigantic creature. It has a head a bit like a snake, but the rest of its body looks like a bit like a porcupine. It looks in your direction for a moment. You just feel the intensity of the creature, and it's, like I said, gigantic in size. So it covers your entire range because it's right in front of you. You have this moment of, do we have to do this? And you hear, hey, you! Your mom's a will-o'-wisp! And you see this flash of energy just hit the side of the face of the creature. The creature turns around, looking intensely toward the night, and just starts chasing the night. Audience, you hear your orb ring.
Answer it.
Stop gawking around! Run!
Okay.
It's the night.
Because audience really wanted to say this, he's gonna say it, but he's also gonna run. He's gonna yell quiet in the library at the snake. And then run.
You hear him say, good point. Shh! I don't think it liked it.
I'm just gonna take off.
as you're taking off, just before you close your orb, you hear, do you know any joke that would antagonize a gargantuan ghost? Oh, never mind, I think it's angry enough. And you start running.
I'm so fast. She jumped in the ocean. All the whales where we are family.
Oh goodness, I don't know why you just brought that back into my mind. And probably Fisher, well, I should say André, should know this. When you're doing CPR on a person, the beat that you should follow, you just need to follow Staying Alive. Do you know that there's another song that also fit? The title is Another One Bites the Dust. So it's really up to you which one you want to sing as you're trying to reanimate someone.
We recommend.
That one's got a little bit of a negative connotation to it, though.
All right, so for all of you watching out there, remember this: you can sing both, so long as you remain on beat. You might actually save someone.
Again, just keep one to yourself.
Sing one in your head. The other one you can sing out loud. Although I might not, because some people might look at you funny.
Mm-hmm.
So you all start running toward the outside of this library as you're hearing the halls of this library being torn apart by a large porcupine snake creature chasing after the knight. It doesn't take too long before you manage to pull away. Well, enough that most of the danger seems to be behind you. And the timing seems to be good because you realize that all of these little lights just started swarming behind you. And as you leave the library, you can see them just start receding away. And quickly, probably Remy and Tobiyashi, being the one who has the most perception, you sort of have enough time to count. And, oh, wow. That would have been harsh getting out of this. There's at least 20 of them that were following. So...
Hey, cool.
So if you would have stayed long enough for another attack, normally it would only have been... well, the base number would have been 9. Depending on what you rolled, it could have increased. But all of those that you just scared away would have added themselves to this. So it would have been 20. 20 ghosts attacking you all at once. Good call. You left right as it was getting impossible to manage.
Yeah, we're smart.
So you wait there for a moment outside of this library, looking at it. It looks so peaceful from a distance. In this state of undying. Maybe 10 minutes later, while Remy is preparing himself to cast the horses again, you see the knight coming out. He's just strolling outside as if nothing really incredibly horrible happened in there. Oh, that's an... hadn't run like this in a while. Oh, hold on. I think there's a gear stuck. Oh, right. Sorry. So, got everything you need?
Think so.
Flash cut to the inside of the dimensional storage with piles of books haphazardly thrown up.
Just figured we'd pick up some light reading before we left.
Yeah. All right, Remy, Fisher, get to it.
Like, what? The nerds are here. That's what their job is.
Do my homework for me, nerds. Tell me what's up.
You
It's
start
okay,
looking through these
audience.
books.
We know you'd help if you were smart enough.
Interesting dynamic you have. I also see that your slimy friend isn't participating a whole lot in this
I
interesting
forgot I was
debate.
muted. I was talking, but it wasn't coming out.
Randy would have done his homework anyway.
Yeah, probably. I would have gotten it done, but then Remy would have looked it over, and then he would have redone it.
Listen, I'll look over that one book on war we got from that special section, because that interests me slightly.
Hopefully we got everything we needed. I mean, unless you think we didn't.
You know what? You're like that middle-aged father that got really into World War II.
All right. So you start looking through the books now where you are, or do you want to...
Well, what? We have a 4-day travel back, right?
Yeah, on a horse. That's kind of uncomfortable for reading, but yeah.
Well, I more meant like we have 4 nights to read the book.
Oh,
How
okay,
long is it
okay.
going to take to read all the books?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we'll
All-
just do it during downtime.
Right.
Like, we have 4 days back. Like, I feel like we probably have enough time to get through all the books before we get back to where we need.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. You roll a grand total of 392. That doesn't mean you have 392 books inside of there. It's but you probably have well over 20 or 30 books in total.
20 or 30?
Yeah.
I mean, how long does it take? What's people's reading speed?
I failed.
What role is it to check reading speed? No, I'm kidding.
Actually, there is a little bit of guidance hidden in the comprehend language spell. I believe it says that it takes approximately a minute to read one page.
Nice.
Okay, so let's just say that the medieval books aren't printed on Bible paper, so maybe 120 page in a book. You have 30 book, so that's
120 times 30.
it's just 3,000 pages, 3,000 minutes.
That's about 50 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, it's like 3,600, right?
So it's 2 days of reading without doing 24 hours a day.
Although thankfully we're not going to read it literally each one cover to cover. We'll definitely have more time to curate which parts we read and which.
Okay.
So maybe it's possible, depending on which books were useful and which one is how to.
Well, yeah. I mean, if we're assuming only probably like 20% of the books we got are actually useful. Hopefully, at least 20%. Like.
Or the contents thereof.
Yeah.
All right. So you start moving again toward where you're supposed to go, but it's actually going to be 5 days because 4 days would simply bring you back to the village, and your friend decided to go somewhere else to prepare for your arrival, which means there is a bit of travel to do from the village where you were to the destination you're going, which I believe is a small temple. At least this is where you want to go. So, when the first night. Yes. What were you going to say?
So like off to the Temple of Doom.
Well, it right words, wrong order. To the Doom Temple.
I mean, we could have also gone to the Temple of the Crystal Skull, but
Didn't like that one. So.
Yeah, that one's kind of weird though.
It didn't feel like an Indiana Jones movie. Felt like a movie of someone that says, "Hey, let's make a new one from that series and trying to get as much money as we can." That franchise.
touching point for Shia LaBeouf as a new Indiana Jones.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
didn't work. So.
Oh, hey, what a surprise.
You mean he's not good enough? All right. So every night you start reading, and it's going to be 6 nights in total before you arrive to the base of the mountain where your 2 female friends are waiting for you. Iselna and Azidra. So let's go with investigation roll for those who are going to be reading books. For the
Can
first time.
I
Yeah.
swap Terranad to investigation?
After the first night, yeah, of course.
Sweet.
You know what? I'll help out by going through the books on key. If there's like a keyword that they're looking for in the index, if the book has an index, I'll quickly look through the index to see if one of those books, after they've been reading, let's say like the second or third night, once they start figuring out what like stuff, and I'll like be like, nope. Okay, you guys can read this one. That's how I'll help.
And, you know, the hot Dragonborn told Raimi to do his homework, so he does.
I'll help curate the homework a little bit.
Okay. So in that case, I guess Remy can roll with advantage.
Yeah, I'll help Remy.
Is this the first night?
Yeah.
Yeah. 15.
Okay.
I'll help out a bit. I'll help Fisher, I guess, with my limited knowledge of nothing.
So I almost want to paint a story for
If
this.
he's giving me advantage, this is 26.
Okay.
Yes.
Remy, you were saying?
I almost want to paint a story for this because one of the die is natural 1, but the other one is 18. So I want to imagine that the way that audience did this, because I'm assuming it would be the 1, but like audience is like, probably not this one. But he threw it in such a way where it landed on Raimi's head anyway. It's just like, this is what I needed.
Audience, you're really, really close to the camera. It's giving us a fish vision of your face. Fish eye
Oh, I
vision.
see, yeah.
Winds up being a 27, but like I was telling you, the die themselves were 1 and 18,
Yeah,
so like
okay.
nearly opposite sides.
No, I understand that, and so yeah, no, absolutely. Hey, actually, on this dice, the natural 1 is on the other side from the 20.
Well, it normally is like much like on like normal dice.
I know that I have one dice that's different, but okay, it's not one of my 20 die 20.
Is it a spin down?
You know that Magic the Gathering dice are different because they
Yeah.
do it so that the numbers are easy to transition
Oh,
when you're doing your life.
Because if you use them for health counters, then
yeah, okay, yeah. So they're not properly balanced. Yeah, okay. So, first night goes through, and you start reading the books, and audience.
Oh, we have to pop a thing of holy water for me, by the way. At least on one of the nights, because I have to
Okay.
heal. Oh, no, wait. I guess we don't if we're doing 5. Nah, I'll pop a vial, because I would say that I wouldn't want to wait a full other day before I could use lay on hands.
Okay.
So.
Or did you officially run out of spell slots?
Oh no, I guess I have. Oh no, I do have cure wounds. Oh yeah, I might not need to. 2 and 3 cure wounds. Probably not then, right? Let's just check. That was not a great roll. 11. And oh, should have been plus 1 more. Just take the first dice. 5, so that's 12. So 33 I gain off cure wounds. So that's gonna put me back up. Oh, and then I still have... No, never mind. I don't need a vial because I have 15.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're good.
So, first night starts, and yeah, just exactly as Remy said, audience is there, and he's distractingly looking through the books, and he has that book about holy wars that interests him a whole lot more. So he just goes through one book quickly. No, it's probably not a good one. He just throws it, and it lands in front of Remy open, and it. Oh, well, actually, that's interesting. And you just bend over and just start reading where the book fell in front of you. And okay, yeah, that could be useful. And you look at the audience, and he's already started reading his book on holy wars. All right, so for the first night, it's mostly just reading. You did find one book that between the two of you, you maybe go through 7 books in total, just going through everything, all of the information you can, reading the pages diagonally a little bit, just making sure that okay, it talks about this. We don't need this. Oh, this could be interesting. At the end of the evening, after eating your dried ration, you have that moment of all right. Well, through all of the books that we've read, one book might be of importance. It is talking about something that might actually work for the mist. So one book is put aside with the other books, and there are 2 reasons why books don't fit as you're going through the books. One, you may realize that it doesn't actually talk about mist from the world as atmosphere, as a magical element, or the books has too many holes. You were taking books inside of a library, which was immortalized as it was burning, so many of the books have pages missing, or severely damaged chapters, entire chapters. So, yes, all right, so that book might have been interesting, but there's only maybe 20 pages that we can actually use. So, it's, yeah. All right, not this one.
So by the end of this, we're going to be like experts at weather science.
Yeah, no, you look at this and, oh, I didn't know that's how mist happened. That's interesting. Especially you, Remy. You sort of have that moment. Yeah, for you, it's probably something that has an interesting revelation. Being a Kenku, you always have that thing on the back of your mind, wanting to fly again. And you read in one of those books that, oh, you mean mists are actually clouds that are on the ground level? So when I'm inside of a mist, of a deep fog, I'm actually walking inside of a cloud? That's so nice.
I'll be casual or web flailing his arms a bit. Just
Uh, so the first night arrives. You all prepare to go to bed, and now comes the question for Fisher. The first 4 nights, you let Terranad do whatever you wanted, because you weren't there and we decided that that's how it was going to be. So
It's also kind of what we had talked about anyway. So
well, sort of.
Yeah,
We
that
talked
would've
about
been-
this for one night, but we weren't sure you wanted to do this for the entire 4 nights. But since you fell asleep on the toilet bowl, we sort of, okay, that's what he's going to do all of it.
wasn't on the toilet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's okay. My uncle once fell asleep on the toilet bowl, so no judging, no judging.
Picks or
I just went to lie down for a little bit, and then that didn't turn out to be a little bit.
No.
I think I would. Can I keep reading?
For a little.
Can I like read through using my sentry rest?
Is reading considered light activity?
I believe so.
I do know that the warlock indications that being
Oh yeah, the one that lets you stay up all night suggests reading through your book as one of the things you could be doing.
Yeah, but it's reading through your Book of Shadows, and that's a little bit different because of it's a warlock.
not necessarily specifically reading your book, but you could also make the argument that because he's doing a bit more like investigative reading, like maybe it's only like half as fast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably it would probably be something like since you're not doing any rolls, you're really actually reading the book, so it's far slower.
Or
yeah, or
could I go offline, so to speak, and then
And then Terranag gives
Karanad just reads the books.
well, he's
Or I could ask him to, and we'll see if he does it.
Although I am now imagining Terranad's version of Cliff Notes, where it's just like less helpful synopses of important books and stories, and more just like sassy remarks of informations.
This author's dumb.
the word he uses in these books are atrocious. It's like he just doesn't know how to speak. Well, I'm gonna say if you decide to hand over the control to Terranad so he can read, the knowledge is not gonna be absorbed by you. You could ask him, but it's basically gonna be the same thing as if you ask someone, you ask an NPC you know knows about this, but didn't do the roles that you would do. Because I'll have to be by the book honest if you want to do this one, because technically Terranad is not you. It's another entity.
Could he like just skim through and like assist in a future role, of mine. I guess, I mean, he already is technically once, because I'm going to be switching him to investigation, but...
Oh, that would be much easier. Yeah, that I could accept. That if you
Okay.
want to use him to get advantage on the next day's research, yeah, that I would accept.
Alright, then, yeah, I'll do that.
All right.
Aranad, the librarian.
What makes him different?
He's always
got
going on about how
glasses.
smart he is. It's time for him to...
Sorry, I keep imagining Terranad in different roles because now I'm imagining Terranad as like being a librarian and just like making snarky comments about the books you decide to check out.
Are you sure you want to check out this book? Really, this one, written by this author?
This
Are
seems
you
like a little
nuts?
above level. The children's section's just over there.
I don't think that you're smart enough for these books. There's our books with pictures over there. Go there. he says to the wizard. All right. So you relinquish control to Terranad, and he starts going through some books, giving you advantage for the next day. Your friend the knight remains active throughout the night. A few moments when one of you wakes up, you just see him just staring outside from within the dome that Remy conjured. Seems to be very vigilant, especially for you, Remy, and Tobiyashi, since you have a better passive insight than the other members of the group. You recognize someone who looks playful, but in truth, he is incredibly focused. You're muted.
Who?
Audience,
Oh,
you're muted. We couldn't hear you.
Oh, it's okay. Sorry.
Oh no. He's an anime protagonist. He's playful and cheerful on the outside, but deep down.
Well, you know, Remy, you can't help but to remember something Terranad told you one night. If it's possible to use this to go through audience's mind, you could probably try and do the same thing to peer through the mind of your new friend. You could always try and use Terry. He has been working on reading thoughts. Could give you a few images of where he's from. What that war he's been talking about looks like.
That would, however, require like Raimi, like I hesitate to use the word rebuilding a relationship. Because that suggests that there was one previously.
Well,
More that he has like a further back on the starting line.
you could always inform Fisher of what you want to do. He has a good relationship with Terry. As long as you don't tell audience, because he's going to say no for himself, and he doesn't have a good relationship with Terry. Especially since, that's probably something you've seen. Especially Fisher, while, I don't know, you probably had a moment where you look into Terry's box because, it's been a week since the last time you let him out, so.
Right, because we've been journeying and it's been like 4 days.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it doesn't feel like
yeah.
if we were journeying and nothing was happening, I would have let him out.
So you've noticed that he's been working on a spell because he has one level 5 spell that he can still learn. He's sort of been working on a spell, and you've seen him focus on beetles that you see sometime. Just looking at the beetle intensely. Well, he doesn't have eyes, but he's concentrating on the beetle.
Insect plague? What other
Well, you've been
a giant
told.
insect? Is that a 5th level spell?
You've been told that it's dangerous to expose him to some things like fear. He might develop fear-based ability, and you realize that he did. So think about what happened previously, things that he might have seen, what he might be trying to do right now. When it dawns on you,
Yeah.
you're going to have this
Yeah, no,
moment of, oh.
That fits. I'm cool with that. That's a good spell. Strong choice. Way to go, kid.
He just looks at the beetle for a moment. Doesn't seem to be working, but he's working on it.
I'd offer to help, but you're way above my understanding of arcane already, so
there's a moment where he looks at you for a moment, and you see him turn around and look at the audience, and you just go,
just no testing it on him.
He looks at you for a moment. He nods.
I know it's super tempting, but
So, can you write me privately what spell you think he's trying to manifest?
yeah.
Oh well, someone wrote to me something that it's not you. Oh no, I don't care about this. All right. I'd say think more.
Or
Actually, describe the spell again.
but that's the bug swarm that eats people.
Yeah, like I said, you were told that depending on what you expose him to, he's going to develop abilities around that. Think about what happened last time you pulled him out and used him. Things that happened during that whole event. Things he was exposed to. Now, he's going to be trying to do something about all of this. There's a 5th level spell in there that would sort of have been a shortcut to something you play, to some part of your plan. That's as far as I'm gonna go. So,
What's it called? Sorry, keep going.
yeah, I know. All right. So, the next day arrives. You all travel during the day. Again, the monotony of this realm is mind-boggling at some point. how nothing changes. Everything always looks the same. And you see sometimes a swarm of undead walking by. You see audience just go as he sees the undeads. Okay. Yeah, okay. We don't have time. Just keep on going and going. There's something that feels heavy in this realm. Even more so for you, audience. It's like you're always at the edge of the reach of your god. Always on the verge of losing contact, but never actually losing contact. And there's a small part of your mind that can't help but to feel like everything you did in the Misty Isles, all of the glory you brought to your god, there's a part of you that keeps saying, I think that's why my god can still reach me where I am right now. Because, you sort of gave him a little bit more power because of everything you did. You really acted as a champion. You've proven yourself. You've shown your loyalty to your god at the expense of angering another god. That probably counts for something. So that's why your god can still see you even though you're in this forsaken realm.
Yeah. Good things are being done.
But that's mostly how you manage to stay sane in this realm. Because it feels like being inside of an undead. As if the realm itself was an undead. A little bit unsettling from time to time. And the fact that there is no day and night cycle. You just go along with how you feel. Oh, you're starting to feel tired. It's probably mean that you've been using the horses for 8 hours. Well, it helps that you can rely on the fact that Remy's spell lasts a specific amount of time. So you can sort of keep track of the time going with this. But other than that, there's no way of knowing what time it is. Nothing changes. Your shadows never changes position. The sky is always the same. No moon, no stars, no sun. That's even more unsettling. Because of how the shattered continent is, there's always a moon in the sky. There's only one day every few years with no moon in the sky. So for you, it's unsettling having a sky with no moon. What sort of realm is that? Second night arrives. Fisher and Remy, you can roll your rolls with advantage. And now Tobiashi can just do whatever he wants during that night because Fisher got help.
Yeah. Look at my blob in the jar.
And then look at you. And then wonder if that's actually now your cousin.
I believe that is a... Actually, it's... where is it? There we go. A 26 for me.
Okay.
And a 30 with Terranad's help.
Damn. Okay. Remy?
Just a 23 for Remy.
All right. So,
But still good, just not 30.
it's just not Terranad good, There's a reason why Terranad feels he's the smartest member of the group. Because he is. Well, Maybe. Terry might actually be smarter than him, but he can't read. So, actually, Tobiyashi, when you look at the blob, it's the first time you take the blob out while moving like this from the library to where you're going. You take the blob out and it's completely immobile.
Oh. Shit, I knew I forgot to feed it. God damn it. Hey guys, I think we have a problem.
What?
The blob isn't moving anymore.
Doesn't that just mean we're like super safe?
I don't think I've ever not seen it move. I'm pretty sure when we are safe, it's still moving.
I don't
That would
remember
have to
those
mean, like-
jorgs.
Poke it with a stick.
Maybe just shake it.
Right, I shake it.
It doesn't move like liquid, so it's not dead. It actually really means that you've never, quite literally never, been safer.
This is
I
the
started
shard
thinking
of
really,
things
I started
not
thinking
moving
really
also.
hard about killing Tobiyashi to see if it jiggles.
Whoa, whoa.
You actually have to want to kill Tobiyashi for the blob to react.
It could sense your murderous intention.
There's sort of this.
Will audience burn a level 3 spell slot and a 3 gold diamond to see if the blob will start moving?
No. No, he will not.
You sort of have that moment where you look at this and you all look at one another and how come we've never been that safe before? And each and every one of you, and even Terranad, because even Terry, because it just happens that it was out when Tobiyashi did this. Because I just want to have the image of the 5 of you turning your head simultaneously. You all turn your head simultaneously toward the night. Is he that powerful? Even in the garden, the blob moves.
Nice.
Wait, so does that mean that monster was extra powerful since he was running away from it?
I don't know if he was running away as much as he was saying he didn't have a way to permanently, like, kill it.
Oh.
Yeah, he said he was like out of resources to permanently kill it.
Yeah.
So, which probably meant he'd already killed it multiple times, but it kept coming back.
Makes sense. Huh. Well, obviously, I have to fight. No,
Yeah, 1v1 on Toby. You've 1v1'd all the everyone else.
We believe in you.
Yeah.
He starts violently shaking.
Punch. Immediately turn.
I walk towards him and turn into a puddle. Well, I tried, guys.
When you look at him, yeah, that's right. I never describe his equipment. You never see exactly everything he has. You know that he seems to store his gun somewhere in his back. Apparently, the armor on his back has a place where it can just... and he just stores it inside. He has 3 swords in total, and initially you didn't really realize that. There's one that is an arming sword. So it's a knight sword. Always to be used with a shield. But on his shield, there are 2 short swords that he can just draw out. So when his shield is on his back, it gives the impression that he has 2 short swords that he can draw and use also. His armor is so heavy, it feels like it could probably absorb incredibly powerful magical blast. His shield simply looks like a slab of metal, as if he just pulled out a piece of armor from a ship. His weapons, although slightly decorated, are extremely efficient, and you've seen him take the sword out. They're balanced, but balanced in a way that specifically fits a person. So it's obvious, especially for audience and Fisher. This is custom-made equipment, specifically for him. It's obvious that there is some sort of military background to how he is, but if he is in a military organization, it means he's so good that that organization has accepted to do equipment specifically for him. You'd know that this is usually reserved for very high-ranking fighters. People who have proven themselves to be assets in combat. Enough that you are confident that spending a large amount of money on him will not be wasted. And he has this little bandolier of what looks like grenades on him. And one of them looks like a small pumpkin. It has the color, the eyes, the smile of the pumpkin. It literally looks like a Halloween pumpkin. But hand size. The size of a grenade.
Kind of Batman villain shit is this?
Yeah, is this the green? No.
The Green Goblin.
You know what? I'll ask. What does the pumpkin grenade do? Audience would be curious. Looks like a pumpkin grenade.
He looks at you for a moment. It's sort of a bit surprised by your question. Well, it's a pumpkin grenade. It does what a pumpkin grenade do. It's a pumpkin grenade. What would you want a pumpkin grenade to do?
That doesn't... I mean, does it shoot pumpkins everywhere? That doesn't seem like that'd be very effective.
Yeah. I guess I'd want it to just explode like a normal grenade.
He takes the pumpkin and there's that moment of, I didn't expect this to go this way. He looks at the pumpkin, it's a pumpkin grenade. He takes the pin out and he just let it drop. He starts playing with it as if it was an Aki ball and just throws it at Tobiyashi.
I'm back up.
Whoa!
Tobiyashi
I gotta
always...
deflect it, right?
Tobiyashi always the experimental guy.
Tobiyashi,
Like missiles.
you see that little pumpkin arriving straight for you.
I'll deflect missiles, yeah.
All right.
I don't use this a lot. What is it? How much? Use 1d10 plus 10.
Yeah, but you have to intercept it.
Do I? Wait.
It's not automatic.
You can use
Yeah,
reaction
it is.
selector. Yeah, it is.
Oh yeah, no, that's right. It's based on damage. Go ahead.
17. Yeah, 17.
All right. Well, the thing is, it's not a damage weapon. So you sort of have that moment where you see the grenade arriving and you catch it. And just as you're about to throw it, you do a wisdom saving throw. Because it's not a damage weapon. So you just grab something that explodes in your
Oh,
hand.
does it spook people?
Wisdom saving throw. 8.
Okay. So the thing explodes and you feel that shockwave and you feel fear as you've never felt it before. It hits you so bad and so hard. Your body even deforms itself. So because of how intense the fear is. And it's the first time that you see a near cartoon reaction from a person. His eyes simply pops out a little bit. And you see Tobiyashi falling to the ground on his back, just trying to move away, screaming.
Are you saying I'm frightened?
Yeah.
Okay, I end it
Nice.
with my action.
You had that moment.
Just slap myself in the face.
Your hand is just
Like I do that thing where like they stretch their face like away from it and then it slaps them in the face.
Yeah. Audience asked. Audience asked us if you have more of those, and can we borrow some?
Wait.
Not
you
use
to
on
Toby.
you.
as your
I'm gonna use
hand
it on you.
as your hand is still shaking from the fear you just felt. The knight just takes the pumpkin grenade again, and no, I don't think he can actually make these things explode. And he puts the part that he removed from the grenade inside. And Fisher, you would know the grenades of arbalists are made so that only arbalists can use them. You'd have to
Damn.
have a level in Arcane Arbalist to be able to use the grenades.
Well, joke's on you. Did you not check my character sheet? Well,
Yeah, get that like 12 DC there because it's based on your intelligence.
yeah, it was definitely the multi-class I was looking for.
He helps you get up. Hope I didn't scare you too much.
My gosh. Yeah, it was a bit scary.
Tobiyashi, you're there, and although you've calmed yourself, it feels like your entrails are still shaking a little bit.
Ugh. I'm moving like the blob in the jar.
And oddly enough, the blob in the jar is still unmoving.
That's good.
His armor looks very weathered. As if he has gone through a whole lot. If there ever were anything written anywhere, any designs, it's been completely erased. And now that you can see him from up close, you see the battle damage on his armor. And it's severe. To be able to damage an armor this thick, even his shield, you don't damage a piece of armor that thick with swords or spears. You damage this with high explosive and shrapnel from catapult explosions. Nothing in this realm, as far as you know, would produce battle damage like this. But also there's this carelessness about his character. Not carelessness. Candidness. He's just as if it's everyday life. And judging from how he handled that creature in the library, nearly felt like a joke for him.
So he's got severe PTSD.
I mean, I know he was in the war that was like fighting enemies probably far more powerful than like most enemies even in this time period. So
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't really surprise me.
He's very calm, always. He does joke during the day. Makes fun of different things. And I feel like we should probably go on break. Some of you feel like they need to go pee. Anyways, we're supposed to have taken our break 15 minutes ago, so we're just back from our break. So yeah, I think I'm gonna let some of you go on your break and get a chance to empty your bladder. So, oh yeah, music while we're doing this. Hey, I think I received something. Oh, just an image. Okay. Marsh sounds. If there could be frogs in this realm, it would fit. Alright. We'll be back in 15 minutes. Bye.
Bye.
Hello, welcome back. Hope you had a pleasant break in the bathroom. I hope everything went well. Especially if you were in the bathroom, you know, it's really bad when things don't go well in there. It's just the smell. Alright, so, where were we? Oh yeah, Tobiashi scared shitless. Well, blobless. So, ouch. So with that demonstration of what a pumpkin grenade is, and realizing that you've never been more safe than with the night with you, it's a bit odd, that feeling of you're more safe with this single individual than in the vault of the garden.
Gnomes. There aren't any gnomes here.
True.
Actually, that's probably the big reason why it's not completely safe.
Right?
That and core.
Yeah.
Well, that's just for Fisher personally.
I don't know. He did punch me for like 75 damage or something.
Even today, it's a lot. Okay, so the evening goes. You all read your books. Once again, you manage to find 2 good books that may talk with this. You're halfway through that pile of books that you're discarding one by one. Actually, I'm sort of curious. When you find a good book and you reject another one, do you just leave it out there, or do you leave it inside of audience's space? Who knows? Maybe it might be worth
I
something
take it
else.
into space. These are
Okay.
old books. We might be able
Yeah.
to get some money from them, from
Okay.
like a collector.
Okay.
I mean, look, Ray made the party bank by just like holding on to coins.
Yeah.
These are forgotten books from an old library. Like,
Okay. So, also, after that second night audience, you probably managed to get through most of the book that you had decided to pick for yourself. The book with all of the history. And I'm wondering, do you want me to tell you what the history is and then decide what you share with everyone? Or do you want to share everything with everyone immediately?
is there something in there that you think my character wouldn't share?
I don't know.
Just share it with me if
Okay.
you think I'll.
So, several parts of the book are badly damaged. So there are holes in the story that it tells. As best you can tell, it feels like this book is a sort of a study from someone who gathered information from various tales of different gods, how each one viewed what was happening in the universe right now and what was happening. And it feels like he took bits and pieces of stories that spans for more than 1,000 years. Essentially, the book tells you that, and it's all very poetic. It feels like you're reading portions of books written by different churches, different gods. So sometimes it rhymes, sometimes there's annotation from the person who did those research. So and sometimes it's just stories being told directly. So, but from what you can tell, the first part of this you can easily read and deduce. It talks about a god finding a font of magic in the universe. And it seemed to simply be pouring an enormous amount of magic. And the god figured out a way to transform that magic into something he could use. And suddenly he became able to do things which far exceeded his normal power. Usually based on the numbers of followers and the devotion of each followers. But this god was able to start doing things which far exceeded his power level, essentially. And in turn, that brought more followers and increased his power, and he became able to draw even more power from this font. It just seemed to be a never-ending source of magical energy. And he just drew from it, created greater things, bigger things. And it lasted for millennia, always drawing more power. Until one day it changed. There was something that was always balanced inside of that font of power. But after millennia of drawing energy from it, something changed. The balance broke. And the nature of the font was revealed. That point of magic was a keyhole. And it kept something locked in. And when that balance was broken, the lock was broken. And the entity just escaped. In this case, the word entity is being used very loosely, as he should be calling this a god. But the difference between this entity and gods would be the same between grass and gods. The god who broke the lock simply stopped existing.
Okay.
And then portion of the universe stopped existing. Then many pages were badly damaged. You managed to figure out a few things from information between the pages, and you get the impression that part of the research talks about various accounts of battle between gods. Gods disappearing.
Does it say anything about what happened to the original artifact that was full of power once the entity was released?
No. It feels like the lock itself just unraveled itself. And it wasn't actually an artifact. This was simply a knot in the universe made out of energy. The next portion of the book that you manage to have consistent information talks about the most troubling thing you have ever read. Names of gods that you've never heard. But according to what the book says, you should have. It talks about the universe being so severely damaged by this war, by this entity, that gods started to come together and try to oppose this. And all of the greater gods, the gods of gods, banded together and decided to oppose the entity. And there's even a mention of a god that you have no clue who he is, but the description would fit not only the gods of gods, but a god of gods. A name, Ao, you've never heard. It states that this god was so powerful that it is the god who decided what God would be. When there was a new god, it could simply state that you would be this god, and you were. And apparently during those times, when a god was beaten, it didn't stop existing. It just became dormant. It could be reanimated, eventually with enough followers, but you've never heard about those things. All that the books talk is that all of those gods banded together and tried to oppose the entity. And it didn't even slow it down. They simply stop existing with a single thought. The most powerful pantheon of gods ever imagined, beaten without effort, obliterated out of existence. When that happened, the god panicked. All of those remaining, they were the lesser gods of the universe. They panicked. They left everywhere. They tried to figure out a way to just escape this. Their rank essentially broke. Many gods decided to just every god for themselves. Find your own way. I don't want to mess with this. If the entire greater pantheon of God could not even slow it down, could not even distract it, what chance do the other gods have? What followed are gods being afraid for their survival. Some god figured out that this entity would go after greater source of powers, and they started to use everything they had to just keep creating things so that it would distract the god and he would go after this before going after this. And it kind of worked because although the pages of the book start once again becoming very damaged and you have trouble figuring out who said what, you read stories that tells that some god decided to save their creations and they tried to build worlds which were so primitive that it would not draw the attention of the entity, or at least it would draw the attention of the entity last. And they tried to take everything, every creature they had created and put them in these worlds where hopefully they might go unnoticed. There's a reference of these worlds being called Sanctuary World. Once again, everything goes blank and you try and figure out there's just too much information missing. But the last few chapters of the book you can read. Apparently, that library was probably destroyed before the end of the research. The end caught up with it, caught up with that world. There's something being said about the universe having been so heavily damaged that it's just falling apart. There's no way of keeping it whole. It's just breaking down. The only worlds which have a chance of surviving are those small worlds built and hidden between the layers of reality, between the prime material plane and what comes under it. That part feels oddly familiar when you read it. Although you've always been told, and that's probably one part that audience may think twice about sharing. But that part, that last part of the story, is a part you've always been told was a lie. Because it oddly fits with what the exiles say. Something shattered reality, creating the Shard Realm.
Okay.
That's the last bits of information that you catch from this. Apparently the end came. The entity which fits you as the end came to that library at that time, because the book stops there.
Okay. Well, audience definitely make sure to keep the book because he feels like the garden will probably want it. And also maybe would pay something for it. But also it does seem important because it seems like somewhat of a history. Yeah, I mean, if the rest of the party asks him about it, he'd say what was in the book. But it's also kind of falls under the category of things he can't really deal with right now.
So, audience didn't say that he was hiding himself while he was reading the book, so you'd probably realize it by the third night that he's not reading the book anymore, so he's finished it. So it's really up to you if you want to ask him anything about the book or not.
Find anything useful in there?
Nothing to our current situation, no, unfortunately. Not really any useful information in the book, more just a very sad history.
No.
Sounds about right.
Of what?
Of, like, the universe.
The very zoned out. Whoa. Comes from
Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, I'm waiting to
Let's
see
see.
if what audience says, because something may trigger Tobiashi's memory, but only if an audience says it.
Right now,
That's it.
audience
All
had stopped at that. If you have more questions, you can ask them.
just about the universe.
Well, the sad history of the universe and kind of how it's falling apart, and how gods are like dying and dead and different things like that.
Oh, that Tobiashi probably rings a bell in your mind. You've seen something
About
that
it.
talks about this, and that's probably something that would make your jello quiver a little bit.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Because that's a history book that audience says, but you've seen a wall full of godly emblems simply crumbles to dust.
Oh yeah.
And Ganbu said that it just meant that, yeah, it's a god disappearing. But in wall, judging from what audience says, that's probably a group of gods that decided to oppose the end and just disappeared.
Jesus.
So the war is still going on right now. But unless you share this with everyone, you're the only one who knows it.
Let's go. No, I'm kidding.
The only other person there was Jorg.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I told them about the gods dying and everything, but I'll tell them again about seeing something similar to that when I went to the crossroads. Walls of gods dying, so it's probably still going on.
It kind of sounds like the universe is just eventually going to be destroyed, and there's nothing really anyone can do about it. So,
Other than
Yeah.
the time knights, obviously.
if you read the book, I don't think there's a lot we can do, but sure.
All right, let me
read
take a
book?
look at it. I was gonna say, let me take a look at the book.
It basically talks about the entity, the end, the one I've briefly mentioned to you guys. But yeah, here, I'll give them the book. Make sure not to damage it, though. I think the garden's gonna want it.
Yeah.
Okay. I catch it on fire. No, I'm kidding.
Probably Fisher, because now you're officially a wizard and you have arcane inclination. There are things about this that you sort of recognize from the history of the world. How the history of your own world starts. The original landmass, because you don't have a problem with the history told by the wizards, essentially stating that the exiled are the most reliable source of information that you have.
Yeah.
The history of your world starts with a landmass floating in the sky and falling to the ground, and for hundreds of years no one could talk to gods. It took hundreds of years before a god, the one that is considered the greatest of the gods in your realm, answered everyone. Algathar. He is the first god to answer everyone in this realm after the long silence, after the shattering.
Huh.
And the end of the book seems to fit very well with what the exiled state about the universe. Something shattered it.
Yeah, I know an exiled.
Oh, you've never said that in public.
What?
Oh yeah,
Wait, what?
my
Raimi nods.
What do you mean?
The attention
You mean,
suddenly
what do I
turned
mean?
toward
What do you
Tobiashi.
Are they like? Well, I don't know. He was my master. He's the one who trained me to use, these things, the silk.
Makes sense why you suck. Oh, sorry,
Oh
Donetta.
my
Did I say that out
god.
loud?
Oh my.
Helpful as always, audience.
Yeah. Taught me how to use my silk. I've been trying to find him while we've been on our adventures, but it's hard to find him.
Mhm.
I sent him a message before we left, to see how he was doing, if he ever went back to the monastery, but I'm not sure if he's gonna get it before we get back.
Audience.
What are they supposed to be like? All I
Tobiyashi
knew was
was
that
taught by an heretic. Blasphemer.
I didn't know they were so part of the history of the world, I guess. You know, he never did tell me about like family or anything. Like I never seen anybody like him.
Interesting. What?
But like audience said, it's nothing that we can't deal with it right now, right?
I mean, yeah, no, but also, like, you know, stuff about gods and them dying and coming back is kind of like what we're dealing with.
I remember
So-
mentioning it to you guys, or was it might have been just with Jorg.
I think
no,
the
above-
hunter. I
above
think the
tape.
hunt. Oh, go ahead.
I mean, above table, I think really the only person you discussed this more openly with was like on one of your dates with Raimi.
Oh yeah, Remy knows.
A little bit.
But I thought, yeah, he knows a little bit. Didn't know exactly everything, but yeah. Oh, it didn't really come to mind. Well, I mean, that does make sense. Yeah. So the wall of dying gods. Every second there was gods dying on that wall. Don't know if it's still happening. We'd have to find another crossroads, but I don't think there's one in this place.
We've seen not really any roads.
Yeah.
In the previous
I just
realm,
went-
there
it's
was
like-
a conscious effort to never create a crossroad, but in this one, there's just no road.
Mhm.
Yeah, audience just gestures out on the distance, completely flat, completely undetailed, save for the occasional tree.
You don't really need roads. There's kind of just road already.
I thought you were
True.
going to say we don't need roads where we're going.
Do you know anything about this history? I'll say, are you old enough to know anything about the war that the gods did?
Who are you talking to?
The guy who's old enough to maybe know something about.
The knight.
Oh yeah, I know everything. You guys just haven't asked me any questions. No, I'm just kidding.
Actually, Tobiyashi is suffering from a very unique curse where he can only answer direct questions he's been asked.
Yeah, like I forget about them unless I'm asked about them, because then,
Mhm.
like, you know.
Got a rare memory disease where
Well,
you can only
it's-
remember things if you ask him about it.
I don't really know about gods fighting. I mean, it makes sense. Suddenly, all of the elements seem to just go crazy, so maybe it's that element of a fabric of the universe being threatened. We're sort of really busy trying to survive. Oh, that's gonna be weird. That's right. The war is over.
Yeah. I don't know. I just wondered if you knew anything. It's because you're a lot older than the rest of us. But
Well, I don't know. The last time I was in my world, it was still in the war. And the war, we have problem with the strangers, with the undeads, with the elements coming to life and creating elemental being, flying fortress, raining down energy on you, or it's swarms of construct, of arcane creatures just flying around. It's sort of a busy day every day when you're outside. Not a lot of time for history research.
fair enough. All right.
All that stuff sounds like insanely cool to Fisher, and he's just trying to like it's tragedy or it's bad. It's not cool.
Well, Terry could probably peek into his mind and give you more pictures.
Just explosion. Explosion.
This is perfect for my fanfic.
Terry's imagining himself with the powers of a god-killing being, going back to that nightmare all those months ago.
There's no chance that being's the hunter god, right? That's
In your
No.
mind,
That'd be
audience,
ridiculous.
No. It
Okay.
feels so powerful. It would simply
I
rip
think-
the world apart by its
Yeah,
will.
I think the hunter god's not even a footnote compared to it.
okay.
I mean, it
That's-
literally
that's-
said it destroyed the most powerful god that used to exist. That was the god of gods with barely a thought. I don't think the hunter god is even a major god. I'm pretty sure it's a minor god.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
It's just an issue for this world.
you can.
And,
I don't think the hunter god is a threat to the cosmos. I
Uh-huh.
think the hunter god is maybe a threat to our world specifically.
And even for you, audience, knowing about religion, and probably Tobiyashi, because he also knows a lot about religion.
Yeah.
If the book is right, your greater gods are greater gods simply because the actual greater gods are all gone.
All died. Yeah, all died.
So your greater gods are actually the lesser gods of the old world.
The only one I'm not sure about is the raccoon god. Because maybe he was a survivor. But
You could pray for it to him.
I'm good. Alright, let's move on. We'll just keep this book stored for
Yeah.
later.
Yep.
All right.
I guess at some point I would try to go take a piss and read my book a little bit.
So
No, actually, you know what? Me and audience talked already. I'll just open it and start reading it.
okay. Okay, so your book, Tobiyashi. Well, it's in considerably better condition than Audience's book, but it talks about something a little easier to follow and that is as reassuring as unsettling, depending on what someone could try and do with this knowledge. But judging from dragons you've seen, probably someone did the right thing long ago with this information. It mostly talks about how there was a world once where dragons reigned supreme. They were the top of the chain. It was a world made by dragons for dragons. On that world, someone eventually looked at how dragon mixed, and because there were obvious benefits from mixing dragons, he wondered what would happen if you started to concentrate good by mixing all of the good dragons together, so that they would have an equal amount of each dragon inside. Essentially, the goal was to figure a way to make one dragon who was 1/5 gold, 1/5 silver, 1/5 brass, 1/5 bronze, and 1/5 copper. But there is a mention of how bad this could go if someone decided to do the same thing but with chromatic dragons. So a dragon that would be 1/5 red, black, green, white, and blue. The theory was that if you managed to do this, the egg that would come out would not be a dragon that would be 1/5 of each, but a new type of dragon. And it was theorized that a dragon coming from metallic dragon would create a good dragon, something that represents the light. And the description of that dragon is a feathered dragon. One of white and gold, or yellow, depending on how you want to look at it.
Didn't we see that?
Well, you saw one in a dream.
Remy saw one.
Remy saw a big one, but he's not reading the book next to Tobiashi. But Tobiashi saw a small one in the dream that was in the past. And you saw one of the dragonborn hero from the garden change into that, or rather change from that back to his shape.
I'm starting to underline and highlight these things. I'm sorry, book. I know you're old, but
Yeah, dog ear some pages.
I am cringing over here, by the way.
fine. Don't worry about it.
Just a nice, super wet marker. Bleeds
using
through
my-
onto the next page a little bit.
I'm using my goo to highlight.
Ugh.
You know, Remy, you just see Tobiashi playing with books, and eventually there's slimy stuff on the pages.
Of course, it's orange.
Yes, of course.
But that's not very reassuring because something else could be orange.
So, there are a lot of talk inside the book about the theoretical power of this dragon that could probably be born with abilities, innate abilities, similar to that of a priest. There's also a mention of what would happen if it was a chromatic dragon that was created, a black dragon with powers that feels very close to death and destruction, while the other one, life and creation.
Okay.
There's no mention of it ever happening, but you do get a lot of information about the inherent qualities of each dragon. Of course, the writer spends more time talking about metallic dragon, but he does spend a little bit of time talking about chromatic dragon, which is one thing that might interest you a little bit, is when you read about what he identifies as the characteristic of green dragons, which audience has already stated is his god. And the thing that he says would probably be the worst quality to be transmitted to that dragon is that inherent predisposition of all green's dragon to be master manipulators.
Mm.
There is no greater reward for a green dragon than to manipulate someone or something that threatened him into a willing or unwilling ally.
You could actually say unwitting.
Unwitting ally.
Okay. Look up from the book. Look down. There's nothing in this one. Close it.
So now audience hates Tobiyashi because he's been the pupil of a blasphemer, and Tobiyashi hates audience because he is the disciple of a manipulating god. Yay!
I still need some more information, a little bit.
Actually,
I wouldn't say I hate him, yeah.
No, I know.
actually, does Tobiyashi say that out loud?
I'll probably say it in my head, but I closed the book loud enough for Remy to probably hear it.
So Remy, you know that he's just closed the book on a book he found in a section talking about dragons. And that's about
And you
everything.
see me put it in my backpack.
And then the minute Tobiyashi turns his back, it immediately leaves his backpack.
Wait.
Wait, that's illegal.
That's illegal. I look at the blob in the jar.
You're safe. Yeah, Remy is not trying to kill you, he's trying to rob you. Big difference.
Oh, I know, hold on. In fairness, I should actually roll first.
Yes.
I don't know if that's fair.
Well, he has to beat your passive perception.
I'm not sure he's going to have much luck with 27.
No,
Yeah, no.
You beat Tobiyashi's passive perception, and so during the night, you become lighter by one book.
Okay, all right.
Oh man! In
Fine.
French, the joke is better because it's the same. It's the same phonetic for book and pound. So you lost one book. You can also say you lost 1 pound in French.
Okay.
But you are owed 1 pounding.
1 pounding. I said, I'll after I'm done reading and stuff. I'll sit there and think about it for a second. I could feel something burning in the back of my head. Probably audience.
Looking at you with his eyes. Pupil of a
It's like,
blasphemer.
I'll start to write down my pages. Well, I take my scroll out, obviously. Write down pages, keeping track of information. Which means I'm gonna watch the VOD and then take notes.
At least he's honest.
And yeah, I'll continue looking with everybody else.
All right. And so during the night, Remy steals Tobiyashi's book and starts reading. Honestly, Remy could, if he wants to, and if he's inclined to, spend the night reading. You'd get a point of exhaustion, but with the night, and especially since you have confirmation that you've never been safer than with the night around, the chance of combat during the next day is very low. So you could take the chance, or you could just take the book and try and read it sneakily throughout the next few days.
No, I think Remy would take the option to do it overnight, but just slowly turning his head to Fisher/Terranad.
Do you want me to be reading that? Is that why you keep looking at? I mean, I can. I don't. You actually have to sleep.
Oh yeah, terror. Hey, it's really up to you.
The actually considering, well, the thing is like well, more the whisper thing was like, because like I imagine Fisher would have
Mm-hmm.
seen fit, well, maybe seen Raimi take the book out of his bag. I don't actually know.
My passive perception is worse than Toby's.
It's more like he sees that you sit down and start reading when everyone is going to sleep. So
Yeah.
but there's also the thing that you don't know. There's no, well, there's one visible element that can help you deduce who's in charge. I believe your eyes become blue when it's Terranad. They're red when it's you, and it's blue when it's him.
That wasn't something, but it
Okay.
can be.
No, it's just sad because the way that you describe to me the reason why your eyes are red.
Uh-huh. I mean, that would, yes, that would work. There is, yeah, other reasons they can turn blue, but yeah, I'm not, yeah, they would be blue with Terranad in control.
Right. In which case, Fisher's not home, and Terranad is.
Well, in that case, Terranad goes, "Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Knowledge is important, and it's probably in better hands. Not the best hands, but better hands."
Plus, currently, Raimi has no reason to necessarily share it yet because he doesn't actually know what Tobiyashi was researching, only that he was researching dragons.
Okay.
So he wouldn't know that it would be a good idea to share it. Although I guess, like...
Well, by the end of the night, you probably will have a very strong moral dilemma, because now you know something bad about green dragons that would be important to tell Fisher, but if you tell Fisher, then that would be bad for audience. So now you have a moral dilemma.
Oh, okay. So this is going to be technically a multi-day thing, but like Raimi will read this book overnight, and then the next night, when Fisher goes to air quote sleep, then he will give it to Terranad to read, which he would be inspired to do after having read it the first night.
Okay.
Which does technically mean that Terranad would get a little less reading done. It's like, but Terranad is sassy enough and Fisher's insight is too low. I think it'd be good.
Hey,
Oh, don't worry.
just because it's true doesn't mean it's not me.
Doesn't mean it doesn't hurt.
All right.
Yeah, so this is Raimi's strategy. He will read this book through the night, take the point of exhaustion, but then the next night when Terranad is back in the reins, this is like slowly putting the book into his hands.
With wide eyes.
You're gonna want to check this out.
Oh, really? No, it's okay. Okay. He starts reading it.
And then,
Yeah.
like a minor illusioning Fisher's face, specifically with the red eyes, and then just like go, shh.
Oh, it's that bad, huh? You don't want me to tell anything about it to Fisher about this.
Only an emergency.
Right. Okay, well, let's get to reading then. Start reading. And Remy, you've been trying to keep up all day long, even through your ritual spell. So you probably give him this. You go sit and... Because all day long it felt like you were just barely staying up. And probably everyone noticed this. You look tired all day long. really out of it. I mean, you
Actually,
had
he
to
looks-
redo one of your ritual casting twice.
Well, honestly, I feel like he's both tired and then after reading that book,
Unsettled.
stressed.
Stressed, unsettled. I mean, damn.
Like he keeps looking at audience. I mean, he always keeps looking at audience, but it looks a little bit different.
And you know, there's that mention of the feather that you've just kept. And now you know that a feather from that dragon might be excessively powerful. Damn, you missed it when it flew.
just connected in my brain. It's the prophecy, guys.
In fairness, both encounters, not really a great opportunity to acquire one. And the one that he did see was depowered anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's 1,500
It's good that
years
I mean,
later.
it's good that we don't have it because then they would be looking for it and coming to us for it. So they're probably looking for that feather of that dragon
So what we have, we can't lose.
to bring back. What's his face?
The hunter god.
Yeah, the hunter god.
So now, Tobiashi, you might actually have 2 clues about the 3 things you're looking for. A feather hidden within a dream, and the will of an unbreakable mind. You've all theorized that the will of the unbreakable mind might be something in the Misty Isles. I've heard one of you say that it might be Civ.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tobiashi has just figured out that this description fits with the dragon, a feather inside of a dream.
Yeah. Well,
So you might have figured out 2 of the 3 things you need to find. How to collect it, you have no clue, but you might have figured out 2 of the things you need to find.
gosh,
The last one,
that was a lot of information.
essence from the shadow of a god.
I feel like that could also be the feather.
Well,
Whoa,
for
whoa, whoa,
audience, yes, but for all of you, not necessarily. All right.
Damn. That was a lot of information in one session.
It's almost like we went to a library, got a lot of books.
Yeah.
Incidentally,
Almost.
because I'm assuming that Terranad would return the book, like at the end of his night. What would what would have been his specific reaction to his reading?
I feel like, at least with regards to like the stuff about the green dragon, I feel like that's something Terranad already knows.
Well, he gives you back the book. Probably wakes you up when he's trying to slide the book back into your things because passive perception high enough. You're just looking at him. Just, well, let's just say that now I get to call audience a tool.
Watch, he's gonna do it anyway, even in Fisher's mind, and Fisher's gonna have zero context.
He does something. He's like, man, that guy's such a tool.
You won't know why, Fisher, but from now on, audience is no longer brainless. He's a tool.
You decide which is worse.
Bird brain, jitter, and tool. Those are your companion now when he's talking in your mind.
Nice.
All right. And with the last night, make your rolls for the fortnight. Sorry, make your rolls to see on the other piles of book that you have.
Do I not get advantage this time because Terranad was reading something else?
Well,
That actually would have been night 3, not night 4.
yeah.
Oh. Okay.
So what did you roll?
I'm gonna use my lucky coin. It wasn't terrible. That's okay. Also, so I get an 18 with Terranad's help. It's a 22.
Okay. And Remy? You have your point of exhaustion on the... Remember.
Yeah, but unless the audience stopped helping, it's like then it evens out to just a straight roll. So
I didn't hear
I don't
you.
know. Is audience still throwing books over his shoulder?
Are you still helping Remy, audience? Audience?
Sorry, I was spacing out.
Guess not.
Are you still helping Remy?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, then the straightest roll that Raimi will ever make, for the gayest reasons. It's like, believe it or not, though, it's still pretty good. That's a 30. That's a 19 on the die.
Okay. All right. So that's the third night. The fourth night when it arrived. Yes?
I would look for my pendant on that night.
Actually, now imagining that Raimi almost fell asleep, and then the book did land on his head. He went back.
Huh?
Wake up! You gotta do my homework.
I'll make sure that my pendant's in my stuff, basically.
Yeah, right now it is.
Okay. Other than that, I just keep looking through books and helping Fisher.
All right. So yes, on that fourth night, you you would not get advantage. However, Fisher would not realize this because technically Terranat did read books all night. He just didn't read any books that would be of any use.
Yeah.
And he does tell you, no, I read all night. That book, it's not good. It's not a good one. So, just one book. Yeah, it was a really interesting book, but I didn't talk about Mist. So, you said you wanted Misty book.
Oh.
It just kept talking about this this woman that has like control over these water-based pocket monsters. She didn't seem to like bugs. It kept hounding this one boy that she knows about a bike that he broke.
Yeah. And she didn't. And there's also something that feels a little bit like Remy. You know, she sort of has a crush on the boy, but she doesn't want to openly admit it too much. All right. So it's the role of the fourth night.
I guess I can use my coin again. That's better. 23 and 27.
Okay. Remy?
Then Ramey's just a 22.
All right. Well, I think that's almost nearly all of the book, and you still have 2 nights. So, as you all go to bed for the 4th night, and Terranad gives you back your book, Remy, and sort of look at all of the books that you've read in the last 4 nights, and there's only maybe 5 or 6 more books. And between the two of you, Fisher and Remy, you're going to finish, but the initial reading would suggest that there's nothing interesting in it, but just to be sure. But in grand total, you found 4 books, which seems to really be talking about the subject you wanted. Talking about how the atmosphere of some realm, when it comes into contact with other realm, can change state. The same way that water can become ice or vapor. And the whole thing is around that subject. And you get the feeling that this is mostly what happens when the energies of this realm comes into contact with the energies of the Misty Isle. It creates this condensation of magic, of arcane energy, too raw to simply be used without training. But it does suggest that this realm is very potent with energy. And from what you are able to read, it is that energy that the hags seems to be tapping in and weaving their enchantment on it. So essentially polluting the energy as it crosses between the realms. So in theory, if they're polluting the energy before it crosses, maybe it's possible to find a way to purify it as it is entering the other realm. But you'd have to have access for a prolonged period of time, many enchantments and things like this. You'd have to have access to the shard in the underground of the spire.
Mm.
And you have no clue the kind of enchantment you'd need to be able to do this. You need someone who is far more knowledgeable about the arcane than any of you 4.
Who's our resident enchanter at the garden? Is it the Sharoon or is it the other guy?
You do have an enchanter, an elf. The only elf, I think. No, there's another one. Anyway.
Was he the guy who did my first upgrade?
No, that's one of the member of the garden.
Okay. Was that an elf? Did I get that part right?
Yes,
at least?
yes, he was an elf.
Okay.
But among the heroes, the 50 heroes of the garden, there is an enchanter, an elf. Yes.
Okay.
Are they like one of the powerful heroes or no?
He's never done anything while you were there. He's never done anything to distinguish himself, but he didn't have the vibe of a beginner mage. So
he might know something.
He might. It's an option. You had a few interesting options for arcane knowledge before you left. So there's this one mage character from the garden itself. If not, there is that other hero that knows another diviner, the dark elf, the Shari elf. Or there is Amiali's sister.
Who enchantments aren't her forte, 'cause she's a diviner, but she's...
Yeah. Well, you have two diviners, but here's the thing. One of them has access to a school of magic. So she has the advantage of having a lot of resources that can be used. The two others have less resource, but there's less of a chance that anything you tell them will find its way to someone you don't necessarily want to have to say anything to. So
I might have to call up Amiali's sister.
And who knows? She did say she was not in... She was a bit independent. All right.
All right.
So this is the information you get, and you still have 2 nights before you arrive at the destination where you might have to part ways with the knight. While you go get the key to open the gate, and he finishes.
He prepares the defenses.
Yeah, along with Isalna and Azidra.
And also Zebra will be there.
And also Audience
will
finds
always be
his
sunny.
rare divine energy, which he's been looking for.
Yeah, an object of real power. Which is not the way that the audience described it to the others, but something that comes from a real powerful god.
That Audience just absorbs all of it. No, I'm kidding.
All right. So,
He opens his mouth and it's just a beam of light that goes down his throat.
well, you'll see. It's an upgrade to your breath weapon, and an upgrade based on your object. So it's 2 upgrades in one, but one is really just because there are better options for Dragonborn that appear, and it felt like cheating you of something good to not upgrade it. So just to reassure you, yes, there is an upgrade that was planned because of your object, but it became an even better upgrade when they started openly admitting that Dragonborn were underpowered as a...
Exactly. We're playing a nerfed race out here, guys. Come on now. But I've been waiting for these patch notes for 4 years now.
So I'm saying, man, this is an update. Oh my gosh, what is happening? There's a DLC.
You're still waiting on your update, man. I don't know when that's coming.
End of the chapter.
Later this year.
This year.
No. The update goes with, I believe it was with your 10th level. That's when the object power increases. So once you leave this realm, you get your upgrade.
All right.
I forgot what I picked for the road.
I think that Audience and Fisher are the only one who gets a power increase at level 10. Because Fisher, it's nearly every level. You get just a little bit more.
Oh yeah, I picked more impactful. Okay, yeah.
No, we have it to where like Raimi gets one every time he gets a spell slot.
I think. Yeah.
So audience was the slowest, right? Because I got one every like 5 levels or something.
I'll have to check. Something like that. I'm not sure. I'll have to check. I have the scale written in my notes.
Yeah.
All right. So, with all of this information and all of this background information and you even have more information that you didn't piece together. I'm just gonna say this. There are other connections that you can make with the information you have now.
Okay.
Need time for it all to
Sink in.
I gotta look at
simmer.
the VOD again. I'll know when I take my notes.
Well, you have other connection based on other things you've heard so far, not just from the information. There are links you can make, because I can tell you right now, and I would be surprised if you figure it out. I'm just gonna say this: you have enough information to know what is going to be the last monster you will ever face in this campaign.
It's the end.
Blob in the jar.
The blob in the jar, baby.
Damn, how did you know?
It's gonna be my master. We're gonna have to fight him.
So right now, it is the first time you have enough clues from everything that has been said since the beginning of the campaign
Oh well.
to deduce what is the final enemy you will face.
Audience's child, evil dragon baby.
Audience's
my own-
child.
I have my own assumption, but
If you want, you can tell them to me in private. Alright, so I think everyone will agree that for tonight it is better if we leave it there and we'll do the last 2 days and probably have Fisher have that final conversation with the knight that he said he wanted to have at least one night before you all part ways. So
Yeah.
Oh, so it's just gonna be, it's that easy. We're just gonna go to the teleporter and leave. Is that what's happening here? Or?
No, we have to get a key. So we have to go through a dangerous temple without help. And then we have to potentially, while we're opening up the portal with help, hold off an oncoming army of different stuff.
And we're taking the 2 women with us. That's the most important.
Well,
thing, right?
hopefully we're taking everyone with us.
Okay.
The goal is we're leaving with them and the knight and us. All
You know
of
what'd be crazy if I just broke the blob in the jar before I left? Like as soon as I'm going through the portal, break it open. It could take over this world, and we could leave.
Get
I
that.
don't think it
that
would
would
take
be-
over this world.
There's some living things that could eat.
Maybe.
Probably.
Amy just makes opens his beak. Cuckoo, cuckoo.
I think it would quickly die to probably whatever horde we were leaving from.
So just so that Tobiyashi has this in mind, the worst thing that could possibly happen if you leave the blob here is that it starts feeding, it grows bigger, and eventually finds the rift that leads back to the Misty Isle and consume everyone there.
Ah.
Well, to do that, it would also have to beat a coven full of hags.
Yeah, imagine
And
how
the
big it would
and
get after
giants.
eating that.
This is a side quest I want to watch.
All right.
Not be a part of, just watch.
Yeah, I just want to watch it from afar.
So, I think this is going to be it for tonight. And just for my players, I want to tell them this one thing. Everything you've learned tonight about the state of the universe is essentially what happened to me when some of my players decided that it was a good thing to keep telling me that, oh, well, you know, in that universe, it's easy to get through that challenge. You only have to do this. Or, you know, in that universe, you can't do this on this. So what did I do? I destroyed the universe. And I decided that there was a way to go from
classic.
one universe to the other.
I mean, look, Marvel and DC have been doing that for decades, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I answered their constant, oh, well, in my campaign, it's all right. So what happens now happens so far in the future of everything that is Dungeons and Dragon right now that there are no one still alive from that time. And the end of the multiverse happened. Yeah. And that's why that God is called the End. Because it was the end of all that is.
it was the end of all campaigns.
And everything that happened after that, like, is well, no, it doesn't exist anymore. Shut up. Well, in the multiverse, it doesn't exist anymore. The multiverse. Shut up.
DM keeps telling us to shut up.
Yes, shut up. So, yeah. That's why it happened. And, well, it was there, so there might be some relevance to whatever's happening in your world, but...
All right, I'm gonna need the phone numbers and names. I'm saying
of my old players.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure they are all married with kids now. I'm the only one of my players that doesn't have any kids.
Well, just because they're married and have kids, that doesn't mean
Oh.
their number isn't useful.
Well, the second thing is, how good is your French?
Like, who needs to know French when I know the language of love?
Okay.
I thought that was French.
Yeah, that is fair.
That's the joke.
Oh.
Well,
right.
I never said you don't know French. I said you don't speak it well. And I just mean the French, not love language. All right, yeah. So, like Sam just said, I think it's time for everyone to go to bed. So,
I'm not yawning, you're yawning.
an audience is zoning out. So,
To the yawning portal we go.
oh, ho, ho. All right. Sound of crackling fire for the outro, and thank you very much for being here tonight. We hope you had a pleasant whatever part of the day it is for you, and we hope you will be here next week, next Wednesday or Friday if you're watching this on the rebroadcast. If you're watching this on the rebroadcast, we might raid if we have 3 or more players. Although I think that Wanderlust RPG is done with their campaign right now, so maybe it's going to be Tobiashi no matter what, because I'm not sure anyone on my list is playing Dungeons & Dragons.
I'll be redoing my whole 3D model again
Nice.
because I didn't like the way it turned out.
So maybe you can watch Tobiashi do his 3D model as a raid. Alright, so like I was saying, we might raid. And yes, when you see things appearing in the chat, when I say, who do we raid, it's actually me writing it. It's not a program telling you that it's actually really me writing it. So, thank you for watching, thank you for being here, and remember, if you enjoy the show, you can support us. You can follow us, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, leave a comment, leave a like. It helps gain a little bit of visibility. And you can also support the stream by making donations, becoming Patreon, subscribing on Twitch. That's very much appreciated by me, because right now my day job just not helping me a whole lot. And if you can't do any of those things, well, there's a very free thing you can do that's always very helpful to us. It's spreading the word of this channel. Helps tremendously. And hey, how about we try and give us a goal? 200 followers minimum by the end of the year. Minimum. I would very much like to be much bigger than this by the end of the year, but at least 200, please. And maybe go to at least 10 subscribers during the year, please. Alright. So, see you next week. Thank you for being here, and as always, stay safe and stay healthy. Good night.
Good night.
Good
Good night.